Welcome once again to Roadmap to Sustainable Health and Fitness with Dr. Donatus Chukwudo. It's my pleasure to be here with you once again in this last on the series of Roadmap to Sustainable Health and Fitness. I'm sure you must have enjoyed looking at or watching our previous videos. And in case there is any of them you have not watched, they are still available on the channel. Just go to the link below and then you'll be able to access them and watch them and enjoy them. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, I want to encourage you to do so. We love you and we're happy when you subscribe. It encourages us that people out there are appreciating what we do. And in case you have any comment, any suggestion, it's also highly welcome. And God will bless you for doing that. Today we are looking at another very, very important part of Roadmap to Sustainable Health and Fitness. And the topic is trusting in God. Trusting in God. In this context, when we talk of trusting God, we are talking of relying on God, depending on God to help us achieve sustainable health and fitness when we have done the needful. You discover that there are 11 other components of sustainable health and fitness, and we're expected to be involved in all of them. And if we have done them, then of course, we will depend on God to help us achieve the desired result. And that is what we are talking about here when we talk of trusting God. Because God himself is a worker. He worked. And when he created man, he meant that man also should be a worker, should be involved in doing something, one thing or the other. Like if we look at the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 15 and verse 16, there God instructed man to take care of the garden, to take care of the plants that were in the garden. That means that God didn't expect man to be idle. That's in verse 15. In verse 16, he also encouraged man to eat of the fruits of the garden, except that one that is forbidden. So you discover that God expected man or expects man to work and as well to feed, to eat. And so if we want to live in sustainable health and fitness, which is actually the mind of God, but his mind for us is that we'll prosper and be in health. He wants us to be in health without sickness. Because by the time he asked man in that chapter 2, verse 15 and verse 16, to walk the garden and to eat the fruits, there was at that time no sickness. There was also at that time no death. There was no sin, there was no sickness, and there was no death. Meaning that doing the work that man has to do, and then of course, eating the food that is there is relevant for sustaining the life that we already have. And remember, in that verse 15, when you get in there and you do the work, when Adam did the work that he was supposed to do, he was exposing himself not only to work or physical activity, as I would call that now, he was also exposing himself to sunlight. He enjoyed sunlight. He enjoyed fresh air. And I'm sure also because water was available, he will also take water. And then he had to also rest when he had done some work. So he needed to also rest because God himself rested. So you discover that in those two verses, 15 and 16, Adam would have availed himself of the opportunity of doing what God asked him to do, and of course, continue to live in the garden until sin came. So trusting God entails that you would have done all that you should do, and then you now depend on God to crown your effort with success so as to be able to guarantee divine health or guarantee sustainable health and fitness. I'm saying that because some people will say, yes, I believe in God, God will heal me and all that. And so I don't need to bother about taking part in physical activity or exercises. Whether I eat well or not, whether I expose myself to some measure of sunlight or not, I will continue to be in health and fitness. It's not so. God wants us to do all of that. That's why he told Adam to walk the garden and then to eat of the fruits, because he knew they were necessary for sustainable health. So get yourself involved in that. And it's very, very important that you do that. But then doing that is not enough. That's what we're saying. Doing that is not enough. You need to trust God to crown your effort with success, because you may eat food, adequate diet, you may drink water, you might also rest and do all that, and you may still be in ill health. So you need the breath of God upon all that you have done to enable you achieve sustainable health and fit. That's why Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding. Your own understanding means you want to do it in your own way, thinking that what is necessary is not necessary. And I say, lean not unto your own understanding, but in all your ways, in all that you do, in spite of doing all that you are supposed to do, yes, you also depend on him, and then he will keep directing your paths. So it is important that having taken enough water daily, having taken adequate nutrition, having fasted from time to time, having taken, recreated and exercised, having done all that you should have done to achieve health, as the scientists will teach us, as the doctors will tell us, it's also important that you trust God to help you overcome any other intervening variables that may be beyond your control. And so if you have done that, you will discover that you will gain a lot of things. You will live in health and fitness. You will be confident that God will not fail you, that your health is preserved and sustained. And you will discover that things like high BP won't be there, because you'll be relaxed. You have done what you should do, and your confidence is in God, your trust is in God. You'll be relaxed. So high BP won't be there. Even high blood sugar won't be there. Tension, stress that comes from worries and all that won't be there. If you have exercise moderation, you have done what you should do at the measure that should be done, you will be relaxed. You will gain a lot of things by trusting God and doing what you should do. So please, there's the need to have a balance. Do what you are supposed to do to live in health and fitness. Trust God to crown your effort with success. And I tell you, you can be sure that your health and your fitness is guaranteed. God bless you for listening to this program. Once again, I want to ask you to do me a favor by subscribing to this channel. If you have not done that, share the link with your friends. Tell them there are a lot more to come, even in subsequent series and presentations here on this channel. Before we go, I want to remind you that your health and your fitness are in your hands. Take responsibility. God bless you.